Hey everyone, welcome to the Maria Fontana Show. So, guys, I am super excited today. I have someone who I actually adore. I've been following her for a while now. I actually caught her in my feed on one of my social media platforms, and I immediately connected with her. And as I told her, I knew her soul. So, guys, let me welcome Rebecca Wiener McGregor. Hey, Rebecca, welcome.
Hey, Maria, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you too. So, um, tell our audience a little bit about what you do, who you are, and whatever your story, whatever you'd like to share with the
Oh,
world today.
the stories are long. I mean, I'm approaching 50 this year, so there's a long path, but
I,
who I am and what I am passionate about are very similar. It is just in my cells, it's in my DNA.
mm,
I am a transformational hypnotist, a healer, trauma healer, abundance coach, and I love working with coaches, healers, leaders, business owners to really own their gifts, own their magic, step into their authority, and allow them to receive being well paid, being well taken care of for
mm,
giving and sharing their gifts as they see fit in their values and standards. I know that's a
mm.
mouthful, but that is really the heart of what I do. And I help people peel away the trauma, peel away the stories, peel away the old programs that have been passed down from generations and learned in our culture and our media that don't serve them sharing their gift the way they want to.
I love that. I
Thank you.
love that. It resonates with me because that's been part of my core journey.
Right.
Being an entrepreneur for over 3 decades and processing and evolving, right? So let me ask you, so what do you think? Well, I mean, what do you know? Because I know you know this at the core. What do you know to be true? That's probably the first thing that we have to do as visionary leaders, as powerhouse women who have got our shit together, but we're
Mhm.
still hiding. Because I mean, that was me, still hiding. So,
Right.
what's the first thing that we need to really know and accept, in your opinion, your professional opinion?
This is gonna sting a little bit.
It's okay.
We have to stop overgiving. We
Mm,
have to stop people pleasing.
mm.
We have to stop making our gifts okay for everybody else. Oh, goosebumps everywhere. Somebody needed to hear this morning, right? And maybe even we did needed to hear it again ourselves, right?
Always a reminder.
Yes, always a reminder
Yes.
that when we make our gifts okay for everybody else, we're dimming them
Mm,
and we're taking away their potency. And when we
yeah.
step into our authority, we know what we know about our gifts and we care more. This is the piece that might activate somebody, right? And it's also a bit of a war cry because we need healers, leaders, coaches to step forward and really be potent with their gifts. When we stop dimming ourselves for other people, we stop pleasing them so much, we can step into the authority of our gifts and
Mm,
really allow them to take the potency, the strength, the frequency, the vibration of it, and elevate it and expand it to new heights. When we stop being scared of what people think about our gifts and who we are, because we have these gifts, the gifts get stronger because we have a relationship with our gift. And if we're keeping it hidden, it's like being in a relationship with someone and you don't want anybody to know that you're in a relationship. There's some piece of you that's holding back, that's doubting, that's not serving the relationship, that's embarrassed, that's not, it's it's a yucky place to be. It feels yucky, it feels gunky. And
mm,
the gunk is the old stories. The gunk is
mm,
the old stories that you'll be rejected if you really shine, or you'll
mm,
outshine someone else and that'll hurt them.
mm,
And I'm talking about you may already be at the level where you feel really successful.
mm,
Real, like maybe you're at six figures or multiple six figures, or you've even crossed the $1 million mark in your business. And there's still pieces of you that you dim for other people. Still these like, oh, I have these gifts and I'm just kind of working them in, they're kind of off to the side. I don't really talk about them very much, but
Mm.
there's more to be revealed about who you are. And then that magnetizes more of who you want to be working with to you.
Yeah, I mean it's again, I'm vulnerable. I'm always very open and honest to everyone
Mm-hmm.
and on online and my content because that's what has helped me grow. And that's what happened to me, and it was a process. So let's talk about the difference because people, I'll use me as a perfect example because my
Sure.
listeners know me, everyone watching us on YouTube,
Sure.
they know me. They're like, Maria, you're so confident. Like you have so much energy.
Mm-hmm.
How is it possible that you're telling us that you hid your gifts? How is it possible? Like they equate, how
Right.
is that possible if you're so confident? So let's dig into this a little bit because I
Yeah,
think this is common, right?
absolutely. And confidence comes in layers
Mm.
because as we grow as humans, as spiritual beings having a human experience,
Oh
we are unfolding our own gifts. We don't always have a big understanding of the gift right away.
yeah. Mm.
And at the more that we're willing to explore and be curious, I always talk about being curious with yourself and collecting the data without judgment, which is key, and
Mm.
just looking at what you are about, what values you have, what standards you have, what things come through your intuition, for example, what things come through your channel. When we start to notice, or when we're in the exploration and we start to notice that we have gifts, we're not
Mm.
talking about them right away.
Mm.
We let it develop a little bit, and then we start
Mm.
sharing a little bit, maybe with our best friends, maybe with our coaches, our therapists. We maybe share just a little bit. And then it's like, well, is it necessary? Is this the right time? There's the little bits of doubt that come in like, well, does my current clientele need this? Does my current audience need this? Will my community benefit from this?
Mm.
Because we like to operate from win-win situation,
Mm.
right? So
Mm.
it doesn't always feel like the time is what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
Unsuccessfully. It doesn't always feel like the right time, and the not feeling like the right time comes from the doubt. And that's
Yeah.
okay. We
Yeah.
don't need to judge, right? I just mentioned we're just looking at the data with curiosity
Mm.
and we're not judging anything. But the more that we don't judge and the more that we feel freedom to be ourselves and
Mm.
to not adjust who we are for other people,
Mm.
the more things expand and the more we get to share. And I'm sure
Mm.
you can add to that, Maria, because you have developed your own gifts
Yeah.
through your career.
Yeah. And the biggest one was overcoming. Mine was all about the judgment. It was imprinting that I've had to work with a healer like yourself over and over to delete that thought or that belief. It wasn't a thought, it was a belief that no matter what I did, that part of me, the intuitive part, the spiritual part, talking about inner healing, inner growth, deleting self doubt, the things that actually changed my life, I kept hidden because of my own self judgment, because that's what I was taught to believe.
Mhm.
What are the people going to say?
Right.
I'm just sharing, this is my story, first
Mhm.
generation Italian. My parents are immigrants, and my whole life was based on my mother. What are the people going to say? These
Mhm.
effing people that as I got older, I'm like, who's these people? But
Right.
it was really ingrained in me, like, what are people going to say? And
Mhm.
that's against, they might think you're talking against, what we believe. It was just those beliefs. And
Right.
then I had a coach, unfortunately, that was great for many things, but she kept telling me that's going to discredit your amazing business acumen if you
Ooh.
start talking about that. And that really fucked with my head. Like
Mhm.
it just fucked with my head because I was like, and this is going on. I'm online as a coach now, consultant. advisor, whatever the hell you want to call it. 16 years, right? I've been in
Right.
business 38, but the struggle has been real.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what is the self-judgment, and is that what brings on the self-doubt in your opinion? And how can we just, what's the like one thing we need to do? I know I had to do a lot of inner healing work. I had to,
Yeah.
like, the work you do, hypnosis, clearing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to first accept the sting that it was my own self, like I was doing that to myself.
Right.
And
Right.
that's freaking hard because your ego gets in the way and you're like, how could this fucking be? And
Right.
so, same thing, as I say the F word, I've been told many times to tone it down.
Oh yeah, I've heard
Don't
that
say
myself.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's me. I work with 7, 8 figure, like really high end people who they love me because that's just, I don't,
Exactly.
I'm like you, right?
No editing yourself, right? So you mentioned something really important here. I want to dial into what you were saying, what you were asking, because our self-judgment and the root of this, the root of this happens in our subconscious mind. These
Mm.
stories, so I work with Gen X
Mhm,
largely,
mhm,
and our parents were
mhm.
parents of people who actually were trying to survive day to day.
Yes.
They survived wars. They survived witnessing major judgments against certain kinds of people,
Mm,
right? We know what we're talking about here. We don't have to go
mm.
into it too deeply, but we
Of
know
course.
that when certain people are honest about who they are, it's dangerous.
Mm,
When they are out about who they are, what they believe in, it's
mm.
dangerous. We've witnessed it being dangerous.
Yes, over and over. You're right.
Right.
Right,
And
right.
our parents witnessed that. And they
Mm,
were in survival, right? Our grandparents witnessed that. So they taught our
mm,
parents to focus on survival
mm.
unconsciously. Nobody sat
Yeah,
anybody down. Well, maybe some people did, but a lot of people didn't
yeah.
sit their kids down and say, just be in survival mode. Your feelings don't matter.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So then our parents had us. They're still living off of the beliefs and stories they learned from their parents.
Mm.
And our feelings didn't matter. Nobody's feelings really mattered until they had to matter because
But I
they've been
tell my kids
suppressed
that,
for
they're
so
like,
long.
what? I go, oh no, no one gave a shit what you thought,
Exactly.
why you thought it. You had to shut the fuck up and sit over there and not rock the boat.
Children are to be seen and not heard. I mean, how many times have I heard that in my life as a
Oh
child?
my God. Yeah, me too. I mean,
Yes. And that's just what's happening in this life. We know that the women who came before us, who spoke up,
mm,
and this is still happening in other parts of the world,
yeah, you're right.
are injured, murdered. Sorry for that, for being so bold about that, but it is the
But it's
truth,
true. It's
for
true.
speaking their truth and sharing their gifts.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
So it's
it
an
has been
imprint.
dangerous. Yes, it's been dangerous for us to speak. But now the power of us coming together and really acknowledging that we are um, a massive group of healers,
A
coaches,
collective.
light workers, that
Yes.
it's not just a small thing that people are doing under the cloak of darkness.
Hmm.
The people who have come before us, who have been out about their gifts, sharing what they have, bold and brave, allow us to lean into our bravery and courage, because it will not only change other people's lives, it will change our lives. Our
Mm,
gifts are for us first and everyone else second. So if
mm,
you're living under this feeling of, I can't quite share, I can't quite be as bold and open about what I'm working with, the energy that I understand, the intuition that I have, the things that I see or channel, or the other gifts that I have, it's because this is for you. This is your life work to develop this deep love and devotion for yourself and your gift.
Yeah.
That's the first part of the gift. So many people, we're trained that our gift is for everybody else because it's called a
Mm,
gift, right? You don't just keep it for
mm,
yourself, you give it
mm,
away,
mm.
but it's for you first.
Yeah. I've done that my whole life, over giving, over people pleasing. Of course, this
Hmm.
has been, I started working on my inner crap and deleting a lot of the bullshit 25 years ago when I hit rock
Yes.
bottom myself.
Oh.
And I had to hit rock bottom
Mm.
to snap out of it. It was it was really a wake up call, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I never would have been where I am today. But the point is, it was a process because
Mhm.
I literally had no idea on the outside. I did have an idea on the inside. I just had shut it off after I was a kid. I think I just kind of
Sure.
shut it off and put it away. And and then yeah, the process was amazing. And it's I finally feel free. And as I evolve and grow, I notice, and I'm sure you notice this too, Rebecca, my clients, my audience, the people who follow me, they're like, Maria, you got balls. Like,
Hmm.
wait, 2 weeks ago, you were just teaching business, and now you got balls. I see you just turn. And I say, I don't have balls. I'm being myself.
Yes.
And who doesn't like it, that's okay.
Hmm.
I always say, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I am espresso, and that's what I am. So, one thing I notice with a lot of people I speak to, they ask this, and I think you'd be a great expert to answer this question. They say all the time, well, how can I own my gifts if the people that love me and my family don't approve? How do I
Mm.
still keep congruence? What's your take on this?
This is such a touchy thing
I
because our
know,
family is so valuable to us, right?
I
We
know.
we get activated thinking about being rejected by our family.
Oh yeah.
And what will people think about us? What will people think about the family if
Hmm.
you share these things? And what I've noticed and what I've witnessed is
Mm,
that more often than not, the
mm,
family adjusts as you stretch into who you are because they see you being the happier, freer version of yourself. They see you living the life that makes you feel good,
mm.
and they will adjust. Or, and this is the other most amazing truth, or they won't, and you'll be okay
Yeah,
because you are being your full self.
yeah. I personally have seen, relationships evolve and change. Or
Yes.
as one of my old healers used to say, she used to say, things are no longer aligned. You can love people from a distance. And that doesn't mean you have to be in congruence 100% and overgive. You can still
Yes.
love them with boundaries, but they may fall away like the leaves in the fall because they just are not there yet. And that's not your
Absolutely.
responsibility.
Exactly.
Ooh, that was hard for me to handle because I'm like, I want to be loved. I want to be the hero. I always
Right.
fix everything for them. So it was a lot of like releasing, right? Like
Hmm.
letting go.
Yes. And knowing that you can, what you said about loving them from a distance,
Mm,
your relationship will evolve.
mm,
Your very best relationships will evolve the more you are who you are. And
mm.
when you are being the fullest expression of yourself, you're inviting those around you to be the fullest expression of themselves.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that too, Rebecca. I have to tell
Mhm.
you, I if you asked me this 20 years ago, I would have been like, no fucking way. There is
Right.
no fucking way. Now I see people that I've actually like influenced them in a positive way where they've kind of been like, all right, let me see what's going on. What is this about? And people who were so here now have elevated,
Mhm.
and it makes me so happy because it's not about me, it's about them. It's about them, like if it's clients or friends or family or anybody, it's about what they are gaining in this
Right.
whole evolution.
Yes. Yes. And I invite someone who is in the situation where you're
Mm,
really struggling with family, or you're really struggling with your partner not understanding, or
mm.
your friends or something, these people are in resistance to you to teach you. And this is so important because you're teaching each other.
Mm,
Your job is not to teach them lessons they don't want to learn yet. They will find a way to learn them on their own.
yeah.
And when you release judgment of them for not getting it, for not being supportive, for
Mm,
not understanding, when
mhm.
you forgive them for, you try to explain over and over and they just don't get it, or they're not interested, and you forgive them for that, you
Mm,
really unchain yourself from their judgment, and you come back to yourself. You release the heavy chains that connect you to their opinions.
mm. Yeah. I mean, that's so true. What would you suggest to our listeners who want to start unhinging some chains that they've been carrying around? I get intuitive downloads and I just get like a vision, like a movie
Mm-hmm.
flashes. I just saw a bunch of women carrying these long, heavy chains that were
Mm-hmm.
so heavy and they're dragging them when all they have to do is open their hands and let go. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
vision I just got. What's something we can give as a takeaway to help the process of lifting one finger? I see like the fingers
Right.
opening up, right? That's the vision I got.
Right.
To hear what spirit's guiding you towards.
There's two things that came through, and one of them
Mm,
is every finger that you open is you releasing judgment on yourself.
mm,
It's the supposed projected judgment that other people have against you.
mm,
Release all the judgment that you're weird or strange or different, or you're the black sheep. We hear that so often, right? But you're a truth
mhm,
seeker, you're a way shower,
mm,
you're a leader, you're a bright light, and you get to own your magic. And every time you release a chain, you're going to feel lighter.
yeah.
And at the same time, I'm going to ask you to stretch,
Mm,
because when you've been living in a stagnated place, you've been living in a stuck, stalled, maybe there's a little bit of movement, but there's some piece, something holding you back. When
mm,
you allow yourself to stretch,
mm,
when you come back from that stretch, you'll have moved a little bit more.
yeah.
You'll have moved, even if it's just a few degrees, you'll have
Mm,
moved and shifted. And that, the success of that stretch will give you more confidence to stretch
mm.
again and stretch again.
I'm called to ask you, what does a stretch mean? Because for some reason, I think not every, I get what you mean by
Yeah.
stretch, but that might be like, well, what the hell does that really mean? Am I like doing like Pilates? Like, I,
Right.
yeah, give me an example of a stretch.
Yes. Okay. So we'll call it like an energetic stretch, or
Mm,
a confidence stretch, or a bravery stretch.
mm,
And that is to share a piece of yourself.
mm,
Share a piece of yourself that you wouldn't share. If you're on social media and you feel called to share something about your gifts, share it there. If you are on a text chain with your friends from high school and you feel called to share something there, and to
mm,
just really own who you are in that moment. It
mm,
doesn't have to be everything.
mm,
Like we said, it's just a stretch so you can feel
mm,
success and stretch again.
mm,
Maybe it is that you have been wanting to invest in working with someone as
mm,
a whole a space holder for you, and
mhm,
you reach out to them and you get your feedback and you learn more about the program, or there's this book that you've been wanting to write, or the podcast that you've been wanting to start. Take a big step, not just a little step, right? The little step
right.
that's not, that's kind of a in your heart it's not really a big bold step.
Mm,
Take a bolder step.
mm,
Share a little bit of more of yourself, and then relax and come back to yourself and decide, because you're the boss of everything.
mhm.
Decide what you want to share next and get in
Yeah.
the practice of sharing. This is how it'll evolve and allow you to expand
Mm,
in an easier way than feeling like You just have to bear everything and be completely naked and vulnerable with the world, because you
Mm,
don't have to do that either.
yeah,
You're under no obligation to anyone
right, right.
except yourself and your relationship with your gift.
Yeah. I personally remember in my own journey, one of the biggest factors was not needing permission or expecting any approval from
Right.
anyone else. So I would say, I approve of myself. I give permission. That way I had, because that was another struggle. Like I wanted approval from maybe someone in the family. This is what I experienced, who was in like the marketing space or in the social media space. And they were like, working for a big TV. And I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I want her to approve of what I put on social media. Like
Right.
I so wanted outside approval. And once I, again, let go of that and prepared myself to, I approve of myself. What
Right.
X thinks is irrelevant. And actually, what I did do with some X's, not X, like some people that I'm calling X's,
Yep.
I actually removed them from my circle because I thought, well, they're not my ideal client. Why do they fucking need to see what I'm posting on social media anyway?
Yep.
So that helped me relieve some of that needing
Yes.
approval, right? It was like, oh, so much relief because you said you're in control,
Yes.
right?
And there will be people, you might have, I have a very opinionated uncle who's on my social media, and he will put his 2 cents in on things. And the more that I have released and just sent him love and expected and trusted that he's not going to say anything, he's not going to do anything. He might not even see the posts because they're not meant for him, right? That the more that I allowed myself to be myself with him and just send him love,
Mm-hmm,
even though I don't agree with the things he says and
mm-hmm,
does, that when I send him love and I choose to, when I post, when I share, because this is a big thing, social media is such a huge part of our lives, and for many, a huge part of our businesses.
yeah,
When you post something, say to yourself, I choose to believe that this will reach the people it's meant to reach only. And it doesn't matter if anyone gets a side glance at it that's not meant for them, because they will just scroll on by.
yeah. It totally is, and I feel like I think we're blessed. I love social media. I
I do
love
too.
a podcast because I mean, I started, I'm 55. Full
Hmm.
disclosure, I'm 55. I started my first business at 19. Hello, it was 1989. There was no, you had to pay for TV commercials.
Right.
You had to pay for radio. So now we have our own radio show. It's free. We have our own TV shows, which is social media. So I think again, if we step into the energy of
Yes.
what this means of sharing the message with the right people. Wow, how friggin' lucky are we, man? I think it's great.
Exactly. And letting it be, some people say to me, Rebecca, I'm so scared. I just don't know what to post. I don't know what to say. I'm so
Mhm.
scared. And these are successful people
I
who have
know,
really made a name for themselves already,
I know.
feeling in this place of, oh, I hate social media. I hear that so often. But if you can use it, you can choose what energy you put into it. You
Mhm.
get to curate everything that you see. You
Yeah,
get to curate everything that you share,
yeah.
and you can use it in the intention that it is a transformational medium for you
Mm.
to share your message, to share your gift. That feels
Yeah.
so much better
And to help so
than
many people. Like,
exactly.
just think of all, like, I mean, at least I know you, me, the free content, the podcast, the videos, my
Yes.
YouTube. Oh my God, I'm on every platform. That's just me. I love
Yep.
everything. I'm a fan of TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I love being everywhere. But that's what I choose
Right.
because I love supporting people who are on the same vibration. It is
Yes.
so damn good.
It is. And it's fun to share and to support and witness other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's what are your thoughts on this? I mean, I'm sure you kind of think probably the same thing. It's selfish to keep all this goodness to yourself.
It is, this is the thing. It's a double-edged sword, right?
Mm,
You're under no obligation to
mm.
share what you want to, what you,
No.
but your spirit if you have gifts, is likely calling you forward, or you would not be listening to a podcast like this.
Right. Well, and if you're in business, I mean that's I've been, teaching business growth and
Right.
acumen for 20 years. So if
Exactly.
you're just it's a hobby, it's one thing, but if you're in business, which is like who I'm talking to, the business
Mm-hmm.
leaders, then
Yep.
then yeah, you need to be sharing what your
Yes.
brilliance is, right?
Yes. Well, you wouldn't be in the leadership role if you weren't called to be there, if you weren't called to share a message.
Yes.
So
So
that's where it gets to be this beautiful expression of self-love, where you don't have to worry about selfish or selfless. You can be
mm,
in the in between, which is self-love and an
mm,
honoring of your gifts.
because we're
Everybody
all
has
worthy.
them. Everybody's got gifts.
Exactly.
Be who you are, model for other people that it can be amazing, and
Mm,
they will begin to share theirs too. And then you can just imagine the ripples of your gifts, the ripples of your modeling.
mm,
Oh, much better world, much
yes.
brighter world, much happier world, much easier world
Yeah.
for all of us.
I have one last question for you.
Yeah,
So, how about the brilliant people listening who might not know 100% how to tap into their gifts? Because I hear this a
sure,
lot like, yeah, Maria, okay, I've done this for 30 years. I made my million. I'm successful, but I'm not really sure what my gifts are.
sure. That purpose question comes up a lot, doesn't it?
Mm,
What is my real purpose? I've done this, but there's something
mm,
on the other side. And
mm,
whatever you created so far has got you to this place where now you get to explore the next level.
yeah.
Be in quiet with yourself when you can. Really tune in. It's so easy to get on your phone and start scrolling and watching video after video. I love doing that too. But when you're in this exploratory place and you're approaching yourself with curiosity,
Mm,
put your hands on your heart and ask, help my gifts to be revealed.
mm,
What is it that I am supposed to be sharing next? What is the next step on the path? And just start asking these small questions and tuning into yourself. And if you're noticing that there's noise getting in the way, this is
mm,
your opportunity to find whoever resonates with you to help you move, work with the
mm,
noise, release the noise, dissolve the
mm,
noise, delete the noise, quiet the noise, whatever, and to create a space for this to expand and not be, once again, not being in judgment that you don't know. You have not done anything wrong. You've done things right to get to the place where you know there's something more.
mm,
You've not done a single thing wrong. So there's no judgment to be had, only exploration and
mm,
holding that space for yourself. Show me, show me what my gifts are. Show me the next thing. Delight me with how easy this can be for me to explore my next step, my next path. And then, of course, I love journaling. I love painting. These, allowing your hands to be expressive because
mm.
sometimes things will just come out of your pen.
Mm. Yeah, I do all the above, and I love making bread and cooking. Like I'm super,
Yes.
super creative. I just allow the flow, right?
Yes, yes. Whatever the flow is for you. And
Mm,
when you're in with your hobbies, your usual hobbies, your gardening, your woodworking, whatever it is, ask the questions then
mm.
because you're in an altered state. You're in an altered consciousness when you're working your crafts
Yeah,
and you're creating.
it's really connecting with
Hmm.
your inner light. I mean that's what I found. Like when we connect with that inner light, it just flows. And I've seen that with my clients too, where there's all this resistance to getting either making more money or reinventing themselves in their business. That's a lot of things I work on with clients. And
Right.
once they allow their inner brightness to just like flow and they get quiet, everything gets better.
Yeah. And sometimes you got to trust that the flow is there. Trust that the flow will happen.
Yeah, I think it's again the judgment. You're like not
Yep.
trusting that the flow is the divine has the flow, like the
Hmm.
universe, God, whatever it is you believe in, whatever that looks
Right.
like to you,
Right.
but it's there.
Hmm.
Mm. God. Well, Rebecca, where can everybody find you? I'm going to drop all your info, guys. Everything to
Okay.
connect with my beautiful Rebecca is going to be in the show notes. So just head on down. The show notes are in the description. But Rebecca, where would you like everyone to go if they'd love to connect with you, which I think everyone should?
Thank you so much. You can connect with me at RebeccaWiener.com, or you can find me on social media, Rebecca Wiener McGregor. Connect with me in the DMs on Instagram, on all the places too. So you can just find me there and just say, hey, I was listening to you and Maria, and just say hi to me. Just reach out. And if you want to connect deeper, you can find that information. It's right in my website as well.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your light, your soul, your brilliance, your gifts with us today. I know
Thank
you
you.
made me really have lots of reflection and aha moments myself because, as I always say, we're never at the pinnacle. We're
Right.
always growing and evolving, right? No matter
Yes,
what. And
absolutely.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. I appreciate it.
Guys, listen up. Drop us a review. Make sure you share this podcast out with anyone who's like minded and this could benefit, and be here to support us and support yourself. Sending you guys lots of love and light. Bye, everyone.